We allow the Amalek voice to occupy space in our mind, and we entertain that voice and we even listen to it, bad things happen. When we listen to the voice that encourages less passion, that encourages more apathy, relationships tank, spirits break, motivation drops, and life is no longer fun. And you look at people and it's like, what happened to your spark, man? What happened to your joy? What happened to your relationship? What happened to the love and to the passion? What happened to the singing Friday night or whatever on Shabbos? You know, the like where's your joy? Where's your soul? That's what Amalek's trying to do. It's psychological warfare trying to abduct our soul. And how do we fight back against that apathy, against that coldness? Well, through more warmth, more passion, more love. How do we do this, though? So I read a beautiful insight from the Lubavitcher Rebbe that I'd like to share with you. The Rebbe had pointed out in one of his talks that when the nation of Amalek, the spiritual concept of Amalek, the internal Amalek, is sending those negative messages to us and trying to cool us down, that itself is an indication that we have the heat, we have the warmth, we have the fire, we have the passion. If Amalek is trying to rob us from passion, we have it. If it's trying to instill within us skepticism and cynicism, that must mean we have faith. So instead of focusing on the problem, which is those negative voices trying to attack us, why don't we focus on strengthening what they're trying to attack? If it's trying to rob you of your soul, that means you have a soul. Focus more on that. Or like the Chovetz Halavavi says, Ma'at or doicha harbe choshech, a little bit of light dispels a lot of darkness. And the truth is, I see this on a clinical level. I was meeting once with a couple in a counseling session, and they were going through a lot of problems and challenges, I should say. You know, they had difficulties. And I asked them toward the beginning of the session, before they even told me what their problem was, what are the best hopes from our discussion? Like, if this was a successful discussion, you felt good coming out of here, you felt like it was productive, what would be different? And they started describing the things that they had wanted in their relationship, which was the passion and the love and all the things that they had once had, which told me that those things are there on some level. And I started asking questions that invited them to describe the presence of those things they were looking for, the presence of love, the presence of passion, the presence of trust. And they did. Because if you feel like something is robbing you from connection, connection must be there. And if something's robbing you from love or passion, or something is trying to rob you from your joy, all those things must be there on some level, and we have to shine the spotlight on those and look for more of those. And that destroys Amalek. That destroys the negative forces, the internal negative forces. You can call this psychological, you can call this spiritual, you can call it the Yetzer Hara or the animal soul. There's all sorts of synonyms for this. But the point is, at times there's internal psychological warfare where we feel like we're being robbed of our identity that we're most proud of. And rather than focusing solely on the problem, the fact that our identity is being robbed, focus on what's being robbed and do more behavior and noticing that invites what you actually want more into your life, inviting more light into your life. Somebody once asked me, he said, I'm going through a hard time. He felt a little depressed, and he's like, my joy, my soul, my light, I feel like it's just diminished. It's gone. And I said to him, well, how would you know it's there? And he starts describing it. He starts describing what he thought was gone and who would notice it. And he starts describing how his wife would notice how his joy and spark is back. And I was literally just pushing him in a very respectful way to look for what he had thought he had lost, or what he thought was being robbed from him. And the more he focused on noticing that, the more he realized it's actually there. When Amalek comes and says, and tries to cool us down, tries to instill us with apathy and self-doubt, what that means is there is somebody there with faith, with warmth and passion, worth attacking. When you feel attacked, you're worth attacking. And focus on the self-worth that's already there. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.